Yes, good evening, good morning, welcome back. We'll start the class. Okay, right. Yeah, yes, just here, like in the previous classes, just we have discussed some introduction part. We have seen what is AWS, we have seen what are the benefits of AWS, we have discussed. Okay, right. I think some participants have joined today. Better you contact with our team. Okay, Microsoft team, they will providing the recorded sessions. You can go through those sessions. Okay, right. Just we have seen introduction part only. We have not discussed anything practically. So we are trying to understand what is AWS and what is how the Amazon is maintaining the infrastructure in the background. So those things we are trying to yeah, understand here. Okay, right. So, if any simple doubts are there, please type in the chat panel. So, as well as you can contact to my email ID also at any time for doubts clarification. Okay, right. So, let's say we start the session. Yeah, if something is there, like we can. Okay, so if something is there, like we'll see, we'll discuss. Okay, meanwhile, right. Right. So we'll start with it. AWS global infrastructure we are discussing. Okay. Only we have discussed like yeah, uh, Amazon has built the data centers across the globe, right? So those data centers generally we are calling the areas where they have built the data centers as regions. Regions. Okay, so just remember once again, in a region we have data centers. Okay, region is a some location, okay, geographical area. So in a region we have what data centers. Only we know, okay, only we know like it is a collection of what data centers. Okay, so just remember like any cloud platform is a collection of what data centers. Okay, right. That's why just we have to understand here almost all every phase here across the globe, across the globe. So data centers are available for us across the globe. Okay, right. So that's why like we can place our databases, we can place our applications, we can place our servers in any location. You have to understand in any location we can place our resources. Okay, right. So that's why say like this how these data centers are maintained, how these regions are maintained internally, what is the hierarchy is it, those things we'll see here, okay, in today's session. So how they are maintaining the data centers, what is the hierarchy is it, we'll talk about that. Okay, right. Check here like already we have seen in the previous class, we have 24 regions are there across the globe. We have 77 availability zones are there. 77 availability zones. If any queries are there, feel free to type in the chat panel. Just remember a data center is a region is a collection of availability zones. Okay, a region is a collection of what? Availability zone. For example, let's say Mumbai, here we have Mumbai region. In Mumbai region, we have availability zones are there. In Mumbai region, we have availability zones are there. Once again, remember each availability zone has one or more data centers. Okay, each availability zone has one or more data centers. Just remember, one availability zone has minimum one data center. We can have multiple data centers also. Okay, right, right. So we'll see this. What is local zone? Edge location, point of presence, various things are there. We'll see here in the today's class. Check here infrastructure we have seen. We can go through the Amazon. If I say Amazon AWS infrastructure. Okay, so Amazon is showing graphically say the complete infrastructure very clearly. Okay, so infrastructure like in which location, how many regions are there, they are showing say very clearly. In Asia Pacific here, we have different regions are there. So here in India we have in Mumbai. Mumbai is one of the region here in India. Okay, so that is like a global infrastructure, is it? And we have seen that today, like Amazon is leading the market. Today, Amazon is leading the markets here. Okay, so as compared with any cloud platform, like it may be Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, so Amazon is leading the market today. Okay, so with the latest study we have seen, right? So check here, first one here in the hierarchy in the architecture, infrastructure architecture means how Amazon is maintaining the architecture in the background. Okay, as part of infrastructure architecture observe here. So first levels here in the hierarchy, region is there. Region. Okay, check here. A region is a separate geographic area and is completely independent ones here. Means what? So if one region is down, it's not meaning that other region is down. It is completely independent one region. Just we have to understand region is some geographical location. Each region is a physical location around the world, okay, with cluster data centers. Cluster means remember a group of data centers. Understood, right? A region is a group of data centers. Why group of data centers? For redundancy purpose. Tomorrow, even one data center is crash, something happen. Okay, so no problem. All the resources are there in another data center. Okay, let's remember it is a group of data centers. Then each Amazon region is designed to be completely isolated, okay, separated from other regions and helps assure the greatest possible fault tolerance. Right, even one region is affected due to earthquake or due to any reason, okay, then remember other regions are not affected. Independent. Independent. One question is there. That's why you can use the chart panel. You can ask if any doubts are there, any queries are there. Okay, right. Check here like if one region will get updated, then remain regions also updated. One question is there. No, actually, why? Because the regions are independent. Why? Because if something happened in one region, if you have done by mistake some updates, then problem is there. If they are updated to what? All the other regions. Yes, yes. That's remember if any questions are there, anything are there, just please type select yeah with public means all audience so that everyone can see the question. Okay, right. Right. That is like regions are there. Already we have seen today how many regions are there. Almost all 24 regions are there. Right. So it's your communication between region is across the public internet. Right. Between the regions, remember communication is done through a public internet. between the regions. Okay, right. After that, an appropriate measure should be taken to protect the data using encryption. See, Amazon is protecting the data by using what? Encryption technologies. By using encryption technologies. Okay, right. Next one is data transfer between regions is charged at the internet data transfer rate for both sending and receiving the instances. Means what? For example, let's say I'm maintaining uh, some data in one region, some data in another region, for example. Okay, so while transferring the data between the regions, what it is doing, they are charging actually. Okay, extra charges are there for sending and receiving the data. Resources are not replicated across regions unless done explicitly. Right? Let's say I place one server in Mumbai region. That server is by default not maintained in Australia, Sydney region. They are not maintaining in Virginia region, different region, unless until we explicitly configure. Unless until we explicitly configure. Okay, understood it? So data cannot be replicated between the regions by default. These are some of the important points are there about a region and which region as a best practice. Remember which region we have to select. Which region we have to select. So how we can decide we have to go with which region as a best practice. Okay, how we are when selecting the region, in which region we have to place the resources. How we know that whether we have to go with Mumbai region or Sydney region or Virginia region, which region? Understood, right? So we have to generally say these are the factors are there which we have to consider when selecting the region. Generally, sir, in the exam we have questions. Question will be there. Yeah, by using which characteristics or how you decide we need to go with which region. Okay, how we are deciding. Already we have seen AWS has what collection of regions, right, across the globe. Right. One is their first factor is their latency. First factor is what? Latency. Okay. So in case of latency, regions can be selected to be closest actually to the targeted user based okay based to reduce data latency. Okay, so just remember that's why like regions are what we have to select actually depends on which location. See, the users are going to work in which location. For example, let's say the users are working with this application in India region, for example. India, for example. We have to place our applications and databases in Mumbai region. Why? Because latency will be less. Okay, time to access is what? Very less. Latency is nothing but what? Delay. We'll also call it as what? Delay. Okay, latency is less, delay is very less. Okay, that's why we have to understand here. That's why we have to check that what may be the latency. That's why if you select the closest region, then the latency will be very less. Okay, IO cost also will reduce, will get better performance. That means what? First point we have to understand, we have to select the closest region, okay, where the applications are used. One question was there actually by Vikram. Check here what is the question. Data is region. Data region is specific, then how data is available across globe? Yes, one important question is that we have seen like the resources which are placed in one region, they are there in that region only. Those are not maintained across the globe. First point we have to understand here, suppose let's say I'm placing some resources in Mumbai region, right? So if they are maintained across the globe, okay, not required for me, for example, just for understanding I'm saying, then so many problems will get, right? Security problems, maintenance problem, okay? That is the reason by default, remember, data is region specific, but option is there. Why? Because let's say this we are using, say, like we are using some application in India plus Australia, for example, right? We need to maintain our data, our application, or our resources in both the regions, right? In that case, explicitly we need to configure. By default, Amazon is not maintaining automatically our data in all the regions across the globe. If we want, if the client need, then explicitly we need to configure. Understood, right? Yeah, by default, Lavanya is saying data is region wise by default, but we have option is there. If want, with extra charges, we can maintain the data across the regions also, required regions also. It is clear, Vikram? Right, thank you. Right. So
Sir,
that's like,
excuse me, sir.
see, that's remember,
Yeah.
always remember like closest region. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
so
Sorry to interrupt.
closest region, we are going with the closest region always. Then cost wise also we have to verify. AWS cost provides the same set of services across all regions. Usually, however, the cost would differ from region to region. For example, let's say I want to place one Oracle database, MySQL database, okay, in Amazon Web Services. Suppose let's say if you are placing the database here in Mumbai region, its cost is $10 per month. For example, for a small database, $10 per month. Suppose if I want to place the same database in Sydney region, for example, okay, or if I want to place the same database in South Africa, Cape Town region, for example, the cost will change. Here it is $10 per month. There it may be $15 or $16 per month. Why? Because depends on the resources available in the region. Amazon is charging. Why? Because if you go to Africa, in Africa, I already have said no. Like I have very good experience. I have traveled many African countries. Uh, there, see, resources are not available. Suppose IT resources here we are in India, we can get the resources easily. There we don't have resources. We have to bring the resources from India or some other place, right? The same way, there the cost is very high cost, especially like electricity cost is very high. Okay, that is the reason we have to understand. So cost is not same for same service. Cost is not same in all the regions. Okay, right. Third one, see, very important point is the legal complaints. Sir, lot of countries enforce complaints and regulatory requirements for data to reside within the region itself, right? Sometimes let's say now we don't have good relationship with China, for example, or Pakistan or some other countries, just for easy understanding. That's why, see, our clients are there from India. We can't say that we will place your data in China Beijing data center, for example, region. Why? Because in future legal perform problems we may get. Okay, that's why remember always say it is best practice to place the resources in the same region. Okay, where the client is from or where the data is used, where the application is used. One question is there again from Narendra. Yeah, for example, we have one of bank data is there. One region data got lost due to some floods. In that kind of situation, how data will take as backup? Yeah, one question is there. Okay, just remember region is not data center. We have to understand region is a collection of availability zones. In each availability zones, we have data centers. Okay, that we have to understand. Okay, in each availability zone, we have data centers. Okay, that is the reason. Remember, no need to worry. So we have multiple physical data centers are there, right? So that's why data is not corrupted in general. As well as we have something called uh, by default. Remember, Amazon by default they will maintain for redundancy purpose here, redundancy purpose here, they are maintaining say in multiple one region resources they will maintain in the nearby nearby region by default here. Okay, without any extra charges. One more question is there from Vikram. Suppose I have one application and want to deploy globally. Then tariff is going to increase or how is it is here? One more important question is it. So globally, if want to deploy, no problem. See, globally means what? Suppose here, see, Asia Pacific is there, right? In Asia Pacific, you can place anywhere. In the same way, Australia means each continent wise you can place. No need to place in all the 24 regions. Okay, so just remember internet should be very high. Means let's say my company is working in 3 countries, providing services in what? 3 countries. So in that 3 countries regions we can deploy, no need to deploy worldwide. Okay, no need to deploy what? Worldwide here. Okay, that we have to understand. Right. So see we have Amazon Prime is there, right? So Amazon Prime is there. They have not deployed that application across the globe. Okay, so they have deployed in each continent wise. They have deployed in Africa in one region, Asia one region, Australia one region, like that. US, Europe one region, in one region. Okay, right. That is to avoid the legal complaints also we have to place the resources where the client is there in the same region. We have to place the resources and once again feature wise also here by selecting the region, features also one of a matter. Why? Because in some region some features may not be there. Just remember in all the 24 regions we don't have total features. Okay, so that's when we're feature wise also we have to verify in which region what features are available. So depends on that here we can place. If you see here, they will show you very clearly here. If I go to this Asia Pacific, see they have divided into 4 categories here. If we want to make some application available across the globe, we can deploy in one region of these 4 locations. Okay, suppose here we have seen already. If I go to Mumbai region or local region, for example, so in that region, when it was uh, check here, like these are the Asia Pacific regions in Mumbai region. we have how many availability zones? 3 availability zones are there. Okay, so in these 3 availability zones, in each availability zone, we have minimum one physical data center. Physical data center where the data is replicated. Okay, so like this is like yeah, every region has what like independent resources. And check it, these are the 4 factors are there which we have to consider when selecting the region. Latency we have to see, cost, legal complaints, and what features means whether features are available or not in that location. Right, already we have seen region is a collection of availability zones. Here in the infrastructure hierarchy, we have to understand very clearly. Now, later to avoid confusion. So, how AWS or Amazon is maintaining the things in the background. Okay, right. So let's see, like availability zone is there. Check here, like each region has multiple availability zones ranging from right now we have 2 availability zones here, minimum in every region, up to 6. Okay, 6 availability zones are there. Okay, right. So like we have seen, like yesterday, previous class in Virginia, we have highest number of availability zones. Right. Next one, sir. Each availability zone has independent power, cooling, and physical security also here, and is connected via redundant ultra low latency networks here. Okay, redundant means what? Redundant networks means what? Multiple networks actually. Even one network is down, no problem. So the resources we can access, the other networks are available for us. No latency. Very less latency. Latency is nothing but what? Delay. Right. So each availability zone is physically isolated from each other so that an uncommon disaster, okay, such as fire, earthquake would not affect the yeah, other availability zones. Availability zones are geographically separated from each other within the same region and act as an independent failure zone. Availability zones are redundantly connected to multiple tier 1 transit providers. We'll see this one. Then all availability zones in AWS region are interconnected with high band, low latency or VPC. That is like availability zones are there. All traffic, see traffic between availability zones is what encrypted. Okay, but access here, accessing is done through region. Means what public network is there through region, but within the availability zones, they are using what private network. Next one, say like edge locations are there here. Edge locations. One more component in the infrastructure. Edge locations are locations maintained by AWS throughout a worldwide network of data centers for the distribution of content. Check here once again. These locations are located in most of the major cities around the world and are used by CloudFront, it's content delivery network something, to distribute content to end user to reduce latency. What is this here? For example, let's say I'm browsing the data. So I'm browsing the yeah, data from Hyderabad, for example. Okay, so in Hyderabad, actually remember, right now there is no region, right now there is no availability zone, but we have something called edge locations. Edge locations. Instead, almost all in every major cities we have edge locations. What these edge locations will do? These edge locations will work as like a buffer. Suppose let's say I'm browsing some application from here very frequently. Okay, that application yeah, output or cache is maintained here in the edge location, so that whenever the user is browsing from same location again, so immediately the resource is available for us. Means what, the application output or application is cached actually, remember, in the edge location to get see better performance. Instead of taking the instead of taking from where, from the availability zone, or instead of yeah, browsing the application every time from availability zone, okay, to reduce the network traffic, we have these edge locations, right? Check it like local zones are there, some other terminologies are there, but we have to understand this regions plus availability zones are important for us. Regions and availability zones are important for us. Here, local zones are also there here. Okay, so local zones are here like AWS local zones place compute, storage, database, and other select AWS services closer to end users. Means what, like almost all these local zones are similar to our edge locations actually, so which are placed closer to the, yeah, but actually remember these local zones are basically useful in running say high demanding applications that require single digit millisecond latencies. For example, like media and entertainment content applications are there, right? Amazon Prime is there, for example, Netflix is there. So for gaming, this type of applications, remember, we need what, single digit millisecond, 1 millisecond latency. For those type of applications, we have one more infrastructure called what, local zones. Local zones here for gaming applications, for streaming applications. Each AWS local zone location is an extension of region where latency sensitive applications can be hosted. Right. So wavelengths are there. Sir. Wavelengths are there. Basically, recently they have come up with this for this telecom companies. Wavelength. Okay. So AWS infrastructure deployments embed AWS compute and storage services within telecommunication providers, data centers, and help seamlessly access the breadth of AWS services in the region. The wavelengths are basically for what, telecom providers. They can use this feature, okay, in their yeah, data centers. AWS wavelength brings AWS services to the edge of the 5G network, minimizing the latency to connect to an application from a mobile device. So this is like one more option is there. Wavelengths are there basically for this telecom applications companies. Outports are there. Here one more infrastructure option. AWS outports bring native AWS services, infrastructure, and operating models to virtually any data center, co-location, co-space, or on-premises. Basically, we have seen like we have private yeah, cloud is there. Totally, we have 4 cloud deployment models are there. We have seen, right? Public, private, and hybrid plus community. Total, we have what, 4 deployment models. Yeah, yeah, Vikram, 1 minute. So, in that scenario, say like in that case, suppose let's say tomorrow, like I want to deploy the cloud in private data center. We have seen a private cloud means what? We can deploy the cloud in our local data center. local data center. For that purpose here we are using outports to make what local data center into private cloud data center. We are using this here outports option. Okay, this will see some just you can go through this. I will share this PPT. You can just go through one time. Mainly we have to understand here region is a collection of what availability zone. Again, one availability zone. In a availability zone, we can have local zones also. These are the wavelengths are there, outputs are there here. Okay, so this is like a hierarchy we can understand here. See, this local, yeah, we have like various services are there already. We have seen like depends on the depends on the region. Different services are there. See, different services. That's why high availability how they are maintaining by using what multiple availability zones. Okay, even some crash happen in one availability zone. We have other available the same resources available in what other availability zones. Okay, right, right. I think some questions are there. We'll take the questions, then we'll move forward. Vikram was asking what is a edge location. Once again, please explain. Okay. One more question is what is local zone? Yes, two questions are there with us. First, we'll clear this. Edge locations are there, sir, which are like our means if I go to local zone place your compute storage services closer to end user. See, edge locations are almost equal to what this local zones. With AWS local zones, you can easily run high demanding applications that require we have low latency. Okay, with the local zones, each local zone location is an extension of region where you can run your latency sensitive application. So almost also previously terminology is there edge location like now we are calling it as what local zones. Basically, remember for low latency applications, we are using local zones. Okay, right. So that's why remember these local zones are available here almost all in every cities here. Okay, most of the cities. Previously, we have seen like infrastructure.aws.com. Previously, we have seen this infrastructure. Mm, Previously, graphically, we have seen previously. Now I think we have disabled this. Right. So no problem. Yeah. So yes. Just remember, like for low latency application, we are going with what local zones. Okay. Right. Right. I think Anil is asking some question. Can you type Anil? I think yes, raise the hand, or you can unmute yourself also. I think no response. Maybe by mistake he has raised. Use the chat panel if any simple doubts are there. Okay. Right. Right. Then this is like how internally Amazon is maintaining the thing. Just remember some confusion maybe there. Don't worry. We'll see one more time again regularly when discussing. Just we have to understand 2 points. One is what like regions we have to understand. First point regions. And second one, we have to understand. Second point, we have to understand availability zones. Okay, each availability zone has one or more physical data centers. Right? By default, resources are replicated across what availability zones. Right. Okay. Right. Right. Next year we'll start with your AWS components, or we can say AWS services. See, from here, important for us. Till now, we have seen some basic things we have seen. Now we are coming to our services, actual services, AWS services. Okay, right, right. So, check here. What are the various AWS services are there? We'll see.
Sir, how are the bandwidths decided, sir?
AWS services are there. Already yesterday also have shown you. We have
Hello.
connected through console, right? Console.aws amazon.aws.com. We have connected through console, right? So we have seen like we have various services are there. We have various services are there. Once we have connected through console, we have seen so many services, right? But what are the major services are there? Which service is for what purpose? For example, let's say I want to deploy one app, okay, Android app. To deploy the Android app, which service is available for us? Okay, I want to create a virtual machine, one dedicated server. By using which service we have to create? Okay, in the same way, if we want to deploy one Oracle database, we have to use which service? Okay, these are still like major components of AWS. Just here, AWS offers a wide variety of cloud-based services. These services includes your compute, storage. Here various services are there here important for us for exam point of view. Compute services are there. We have seen by using compute services, what we can do, we can create the machines, virtual machines. Okay, so storage services are there. We can create the storage like SAN, storage area network. Database services are there. Here we can create any type of databases. We can manage any type of databases. It may be Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, MongoDB, anything here. Okay, migration services are there. We can migrate here on-premises resources to cloud. Okay, already we are using some servers in on-premises environment. I want to migrate to a cloud, for example. In that case here, we have to use these migration services. Then networking services are there, right? To create the networks. Okay, it may be private network, public network. We have networking services. Yesterday we have seen what is the networking service we are calling here, Sujit. In the AWS, we have networking service, which we are calling with what name? Vikram. Yesterday we have seen. Narendra. Networking service is there in AWS, which we are calling it as what? VPC, right? VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, VPC, which is a networking service available in AWS. And CDN, we have seen content delivery network services, security services are there, analytics services are there, artificial intelligence services are there, tools are there, okay, DevOps tools are there, and many other products and services are available as part of what AWS. Okay, right. So check here these ready to use AWS services and software development kits. Already we have seen to access these services, we can connect through the console, right? Console, here sign into console. Okay, we can connect through the console actually to access these AWS services. Okay, so already we have seen like to first we have to create what? Just remember, first we have to create the free subscription actually. First we have to create a free subscription, means we'll call it as free tier. Free tier. Free tier will allow access to some services till 12 months, some services. After creating free tier, okay, then we have to go with what? Suppose here like yes, check here console.aws.amazon.com. This is for what? To log in to start working, right? So aws.amazon.com is there. So here we can create the free tier accounts here. AWS Management Console, we can log in that. So here what we can do, if I go to, we can create a free tier account here. Free tier account. So what is the purpose of free tier? Means what tomorrow if you want to practice what we are discussing, no need to install anything. Just we can practice here by creating like a free tier. Okay, we can yeah, create our own subscription. We can create a subscription. After creating subscription, we can start by practicing. Okay, right. So these are the like list of services are there which we have just now we have discussed. Okay, compute services are there. We'll see one by one now. Check here. Like first one's here compute related services. Compute related service means remember it allows to create a virtual machine. Our own dedicated server we can create. Okay, if we want our own dedicated server where we can deploy our Java applications, everything. For example, your own dedicated server. Then we have to use what? Compute services. In compute services, one service is there's an EC2. Just once again, remember, refresh your minds. Okay. First point we have to understand AWS is what? Cloud platform where we can deploy our resources across the global network. Okay, anywhere. Second point we have to understand any resource which are available in the Amazon data center, those resources are provided or we can use those resources in the form of service. Second point, everything whatever you have listened in the previous classes, you flush from your mind. No problem, no need, no problem. Okay, so all the services which are available, whatever the components are available, they are provided in the form of what? Services. Second point, just check here. This Amazon EC2. Okay, so just remember to create our own virtual machine, our own dedicated Linux server, Windows server. We are using one service called what? EC2. Very, very important for us. Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 is what? Elastic Compute Cloud. See here. Let's remember EC2 is a web service that provides compute capacity in the AWS cloud. Check here, like you have several choice of instance is nothing but remember here machine. Instance is nothing but what? Machine. We have to understand. Okay, so let's say I am creating one instance means what? I am creating one machine, Windows machine or Linux machine, any machines here. Okay, so that is like yeah, we have to understand here. Instance is nothing but one machine. Just don't confuse anything. Then, so we can create an instance of any operating system, okay, and software packages. In that instance, we can manage here any software packages we can install. packages generally here we have seen in Linux we are calling them as packages. In OS we are calling as what? Softwares. Okay, right. So we'll need to choose an appropriate mix of instance types based on your requirement. We have so many instance types are there here. Depends on the requirement, we'll choose the instance types. Right. So like high memory ratio instances are there, high CPU instances are there. Like this is like different instance types are there here. Okay, right. So that's why remember we'll see actually in the tomorrow's class once again how we are creating one EC2 instance with simple steps we'll see. Okay, later we'll see in detail. Later we'll see in detail. Okay, right. So that is like yeah, instances there. Various instances are there already we have seen. General purpose instances are there which we can use for normal usage. Uh, Accelerated computing instances are there with high power. Okay, high IO. Compute optimize are there where we can use high CPU and high memory ratio. Like memory optimize will have high memory instances like 32 GB memory, 256 GB memory. Like this, it depends on the usage here. We have instance types are there. We can select the instance types. For example, if you want to run like a like very huge like graphical related applications, gaming related applications, right? Then we can use this compute optimized instances, for example, where we have more memory, more CPU, more IO. Okay, while creating the instance, we can select this actually. So storage optimize means what if you want to maintain terabytes of data, we can use these storage optimize instances. Okay, this also like we have we'll see again. Just remember in virtual machine we have one which service is there, main service is there EC2. EC2. We have container services, we have Lambda services for serverless computing, like different services are there. We'll talk about these one by one again. Okay, let's see, we'll conclude the session today again. We have seen global infrastructure hierarchy. We have seen how Amazon is maintaining the resources in the background, region, availability zone. In availability zone, we have data centers, main components we have seen. After that, we have started with the services. AWS is a collection of services. All the services for any IT requirement, maybe hardware or software. All the service, all the components are there in AWS data centers, which we can access as a service. Depends on usage, we can pay. Okay, no need to pay any fixed amount. We have different billing models are there. We'll discuss that billing models later. Right. This is just what we have seen today. We'll discuss this one by one main services we'll discuss. After that, we'll start working with one by one service practically. Right now also remember for each service while discussing, I will show you one example practically, but with basic options. Okay, just what is what. But later, once we start one by one EC2 storage, there we'll see in detail. I will show you practically with the default options. Okay. Later we'll see one by one in detail. Right. Any questions are there? Any queries are there? Already have said don't create the free tier still. Maybe after tomorrow's class you can create the free tier. You can start practicing. Okay. Right. Right. That's why, like what I'm saying, if you have not registered still, it is better to register. They will share you all the recordings. Okay, daily recordings you will get easy to follow. Plus, they will share you the material also. Okay, right. Today we got some new participants. No need to worry. Just we have seen what is cloud computing, what is AWS. Okay, previously. You will get this in the recordings. You can see the recordings, videos. Okay, so still we have not started practically. So from just tomorrow, yesterday, I think I have shown the console actually. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start practicing. Okay, right. Any queries are there? Feel free to type in the chat panel. We'll continue again tomorrow. No queries are there. Just this PPTs also I will share you along with the soft copy material. Books I will share you soft copy PDF books, exams related. You can go through those books. Okay, right. Yeah, still if any questions are there. Right, thank you, Naren. Thank you, Sujit. Any other Srinivas, any questions are there? Sarath, Sujit, Vikram, Lavanya. I think you have raised the hand, Lavanya. Please type if any questions are there in the chat panel. Sarath also has raised the hands. Any questions are there, Sarath, Lavanya? One question is there from Sarath. Is there any prerequisites for the training? No need of any prerequisites. Actually, Linux basics we need, but we'll teach here Linux basics. Once we start with some services, then we'll start with the Linux basics. Okay. If you see the go to the soft. If you see the course content, first we'll start with the basic things. Yeah, once we start practically, then we'll see the Linux basics. Okay, right, no need to worry. Okay, just we have seen we are discussing here still here account creation and free tier limitations. Will discuss. Still, we are discussing the services. Again, I will show you account creation and free tier limitations. Okay. After that, we'll go with other concepts step by step. In the middle, sometimes we'll see the Linux basics. Okay, in the middle. Right. Right. Then, thank you again. We'll continue. Okay, tomorrow. Thank you for all. Take care and